wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. Jess lost her voice over the weekend. She was in D.C. performing all weekend long and lost her voice. She'll be back tomorrow. But let's get right in front page news. Now, boxing over the weekend. I don't know if you guys seen the fight, but Jake Paul defeated Mike Tyson in Dallas this weekend. It was 8 rounds. It was hard to watch, and not because Tyson looks old, but because my screen kept buffering. And I don't think Netflix was ever
No, they wasn't ready.
They wasn't ready.
They was not ready, bro.
I had to keep clicking off and clicking back on, clicking off, clicking back off. But congratulations to Mike Tyson, 58 years old. I think they said he made upwards of $20 million. So congratulations to Mike Tyson. What up, Charlamagne?
But he lost.
He lost, but he still made $20 million. He's 58 years old. What did you expect?
We're going to talk about it, but I didn't like it.
He didn't really lose.
He didn't, but the fact that people can technically say that Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson, it just doesn't sit well in my
spirit. That means nothing when Mike Tyson is 58 years old.
58.
And furthermore, I love Mike Tyson, but we're not going to sit here and act like Mike Tyson's regular boxing career ended with such a great ended in a blaze of glory. It did not. Mike was getting beat up a lot his last few years.
There's such a new such a new generation of people that come with the Jake Pauls that don't even know that. They just know the legend Mike Tyson, and now they know he got beat by Jake Paul.
He's
go on
still a
YouTube.
legend.
He did not get. I mean,
he's 58 years old.
That wasn't a beating. No, I wouldn't call that a beating. He
That's
won
58.
He won a fight. He landed 19 punches, guys. Literally, Mike Tyson landed 19 punches.
Please remind the people, because they was online talking crazy. I don't even like seeing people talk like that about the OGs.
It was buffering for a long time. I had to click out, click back in, click out, click in.
It was, but not by the time Mike came on.
All right. Well, the Saints last night in some NFL. Saints beat the Browns. The Colts beat the Jets. Packers beat the Bears. Vikings beat the Titans. Lions destroyed the Jaguars. Jesus, 52-6. The Rams beat the Patriots. Seahawks beat the 49ers. The Bills beat the Chiefs. Nice game. Great game, actually. Broncos beat the Falcons. Steelers beat the Ravens. The Chargers beat the Bengals. And tonight, the Texans will beat the Cowboys at 8:15.
Salute to the Lions, too. If the Lions don't win the Super Bowl this year, I'll be surprised. But don't listen to me. I've been saying the Dallas Cowboys going to win the Super Bowl the last 26 years. So
that's facts.
What do I know?
All right. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning, y'all. I really want to play around, but we've got some serious news to get into. Multiple reports indicate that President Biden is allowing Ukraine, to strike Russia with U.S.-made long-range missiles. Now, Reuters reports Ukraine plans to launch strikes in the coming days. This comes after news of North Korean soldiers arriving at the front to fight alongside Russian troops. Now, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has been requesting permission to use the U.S.-supplied weapons, all that stuff we've been sending over there. He's been asking for permission to use the U.S.-supplied weapons to strike deep inside Russia for months. And apparently the reports say that President Biden is allowing those to happen. So we should be looking out for those strikes in a matter of moments and a matter of days. The White House has declined to comment on these reports. Elsewhere in international news, President Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping met for the third and final time over the weekend. The pair spoke at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in Peru, where Biden emphasized competition and cooperation and spoke more about the importance of the relationship between America and China. Let's hear more from President Biden on that.
These conversations prevent miscalculations, and they ensure the competition between our two countries will not veer into conflict. Be competition, not conflict. We haven't always agreed, but our conversations have always been candid and always been frank. We have never kidded one another. We've been level with one another. I think that's vital.
Now, President Xi told Biden that China's goal of a stable, healthy, and sustainable China-U.S. relationship remains unchanged. He added that China is ready to work with the new U.S. administration and maintain communication, expand cooperation, and manage differences. This comes as President-elect Donald Trump has vowed to impose a 60% tariff on Chinese goods, which America would
Lord have mercy.
pay. Now, speaking of the president-elect, the countdown is on for his return to the White House as he continues to nominate and make appointments for his forthcoming administration. Donald Trump is nominating Chris Wright as Secretary of Energy. Wright is the CEO of fracking company Liberty Energy. He made the announcement over the weekend saying that Wright will be a key leader driving innovation, cutting red tape, and ushering in a golden age of American prosperity and global peace. Wright's nomination will likely face staunch opposition from environmentalists. Trump Trump has also chosen Stephen Chung to serve as White House Communications Director. Chung has served as his top press aide for his campaign for 2 years and was a top communications official for UFC at one point. And Trump also selected Carolyn Leavitt to serve as White House press secretary, who at 27 years old will be the youngest press secretary in all of American history. Do we got time for one more? Because y'all talk so much about the daggone fight.
No, we don't. But I hope we understand what the cost of goods in America is going to be if Trump puts 60% tariffs on things coming from China. That's why I never understood all the I voted for Trump because of the economy talk. That is going to cripple the economy.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have to pay for that.
Yeah, because it's things that we don't make here that we have to get imported. And if it's 60%, that's going to be a lot of money. That means a lot of the things that you get that you just think is normal and cheap is going to be expensive as hell. And I did have a question. Russia has to ask permission to shoot the missiles that we already gave them?
No, the Ukraine.
Ukraine.
Russia.
I'm sorry. Ukraine has to ask permission for the missiles we gave them?
Yes, because technically it would be like we have, blood on our hands because it's coming from us. But they need permission. And according to recent reports, Biden has officially given them permission.
Putin probably laughing. Putin probably laughing because he's like, all good. Wait until my guy gets sworn in.
Wait till my guy gets in.
New year, new me, boo.
New year, new me. All right. Well,
that's how the inflation about to hit too. New year, new money that you're going to have to spend.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. Jess lost her voice. She'll be back tomorrow. And let's get in some front page news. Now, some sports. Let's start off with football. The Saints beat the Browns. The Colts beat the Jets. Packers beat the Bears. The Vikings beat the Titans. The Lions destroyed the Jaguars 52-6. The Rams beat the Patriots. Seahawks beat the 49ers. The Chiefs lost to the Bills. The Broncos beat the Falcons. The Steelers beat the Ravens. The Chargers beat the Bengals. And tonight in Monday Night Football, the Texans will beat the Cowboys at 8:15. Now, also, I don't know if you guys seen, Jake Paul defeated Mike Tyson in an 8-round heavyweight match in Arlington, Texas at the AT&T Stadium.
Meant nothing. High-paid exhibition match, gave social media something to chat about, and most importantly, Mike didn't get hurt or knocked out. Yeah. He's 58, guys.
58 years old. Made $20 million, right? Upwards of $20 million, they say?
Probably a little bit more. Okay. I mean, I know 20 was his purse. Right. But I think he probably made a little bit more on the back end.
Well, salute to my... Speaking of back ends, no, I'm just kidding. What's up, Morgan?
Nah, don't bring me in on the back end. Good morning, y'all. Envy, Charlamagne, and Lauren. How y'all feeling? Y'all good?
Yes, we're good.
All right, well, let's get into some political news. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says the Democratic Party needs to find out why its message wasn't resonating with working class voters in this election. Now, Jeffries told NBC's Meet the Press the country's economic hardships have undermined faith in the American dream, and Democrats are committed to addressing those concerns moving forward. He also addressed and praised Harris for her run. Let's hear more from House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
It's been under assault for decades for a wide variety of reasons. Poorly negotiated trade deals, the outsourcing of good-paying American jobs, the decline of unionization, and of course the rise of automation. The deck has been stacked against the American middle class and those who aspire to be part of it. We recognize that, and we have to deal with it decisively. I think she ran with it and did the best job that she could under incredibly challenging circumstances in a little over 100 days. She came close, but we fell short.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I agree Kamala Harris did a great job, but I mean, one of the main reasons, that Dems don't connect with the working class is because the language of politics is dead, and Democrats have not realized that yet for whatever reason. I've been saying that for the last couple of years. I wrote about it in my new book, Get Honest to Die Line. I have a whole chapter called The Language of Politics is Dead, and Democrats play it too safe. And by the way, Hakeem Jeffries is an example of that too, because he plays it safe because he wants to be elected Speaker of the House one day as well. So he plays it safe too. They all play it too safe because they want to be in positions.
What about Gavin Newsom? He's entered the chat. Any thoughts on him?
Listen, there's a lot of Democrats I like. I don't know if I necessarily like Gavin Newsom yet. I like Josh Shapiro. I like Gretchen Whitmer. I like Wes Moore. I don't know about Gavin Newsom yet. I pay him attention. I like some of the moves he makes media-wise. Like I like the fact he goes on Fox News. I like the fact he has his own podcast with Marshawn Lynch. But I don't know. I don't know about Gavin yet.
People was on his body, though. People was hyped for him. for a little bit.
Speaking of California Governor Gavin Newsom, he is reflecting on the presidential election result. He spoke about it on his podcast, Politicking, saying while campaigning for Vice President Kamala Harris, he was in a Democratic Party bubble. He says that's the reason why the party was so enthusiastic coming into the election. Let's hear more from Newsom.
Look, we got shellacked. And so you don't really have a sense of what's real and what's not. The crowds are organized. The crowds are enthusiastic, but it's a bunch of Democrats. You're going to a coffee store where you know the owner is a Democrat and has supported Democrats in the past. So there's this false sense when you're out there as a surrogate on half a campaign. So you don't pick that up.
He says that rather than campaigning in a bubble, he should have campaigned not to loyalists, but the party should have done what Donald Trump did and speak directly to people who usually vote for the other side. So he's saying that the Dems should have went straight to the Republicans and tried to vie for votes. What were you going to say, Lauren?
I was me talking. I feel like the whole party was kind of in a bubble, and I said that numerous times here on the Breakfast Club that a lot of the enthusiasm was largely in the party, but I disagree with him. Like, she was campaigning with Liz Cheney, talking directly to conservatives for the last couple of weeks, and a lot of people say that was a mistake. They said she should have been trying to energize the base more, because when you look at 2020, I think Biden had 81 million people come out and vote.
Yep.
The vice president had 74 million. So that's a lot of people who I guess decided to stay home for this election. You know what I mean? So I think she should have been talking to her base more, because he talked to conservatives. She was out there campaigning with Liz Cheney.
Right. Well, speaking of those who did reach out to their base, U.S. Senator-elect Ruben Gallego out of Arizona believes he was able to win in Arizona because he spoke to the economic concerns of voters. In an interview with CNN State of the Union, the Democratic congressman said he was victorious in the state Vice President Harris lost in this election cycle because he had broader appeal among working-class voters. Let's hear more from Senator-elect Ruben Gallego.
What we needed to do is make sure people understood that I felt what they had felt, because I grew up poor. I understood what they were feeling. So we went everywhere in Arizona. We spoke to everybody, Democrats, Republicans, independents. You can have all the graphs you want. If you open up your checking account and you see that you're making less and there's not enough coming in, it doesn't matter what the GDP growth is. So you have a lot of Ivy League candidates that hire Ivy League Latinos that don't actually come from a working class background. And most Latinos are actually working class. And sometimes we don't want to hear what they're saying.
So Gallego says he thinks that some Democratic campaigns weren't listening to what voters were actually concerned about, and that would be the reason as to why they lost. So the speculation continues as Dems rally to figure out what's going on their side. Yeah, in case you missed it on Friday, the family of Malcolm X announced they are suing the federal government. 3 of his daughters filed a lawsuit on Friday claiming that the CIA, FBI, DOJ, and NYPD played a role in the civil rights leader's assassination in 1965. They all say the agencies were aware of credible threats against his life leading up to the assassination, but did nothing to stop it. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump announced the filing on Friday, and here's what he had to say.
Officially announced the filing of our $100 million lawsuit against the United States government, the FBI, the CIA, and the NYPD, who we believe all conspired to assassinate Malcolm X, one of the greatest thought leaders of the 21st century. We're not just making history, but we're making a path for justice. We believe a precedent and setting path for justice for those who have been denied justice by the American legal system for far too long.
So the lawsuit also claims the former head of the FBI directed federal agencies to illegally surveil Malcolm X, and the family is seeking more than $100 million in damages.
All right. I hope they get it.
Hope they get it for sure, by any means necessary. Nah, let me stop. Okay. That's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Follow me on social at Morgan Media, MorganMedia. And for more news coverage, follow us at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com. Have a great week. Let's go. Monday. Let's get it.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.